So what? What do all these things mean? It seems to me that technology and science and technology will feature in this investment drive towards trade and investment. But it would have to come against, South Africa's effort will have to come against growing and stronger protectionist tendencies. Secondly, technology transfer may be looked at as a form of charity that must then be discouraged, because that's the tone that you have. Technology cooperation might exist, but very reluctantly, with much less political will and political enthusiasm for it, and you know it's very difficult when there is no political will in it. As well as less than enthusiastic participation in multilateral science and technology mechanisms, except where that participation can meet very narrow national interest of the US. And of course, that conduct, that posture by the US does undermine the very basis of multilateral cooperation, because the US has impact on the behavior and the conduct of a number of other countries. It doesn't just act alone. So what has been built over the last 50 years does face the danger of being weakened or even reversed, and could even be destroyed unless Trump, thaws a little bit, softens a little bit, and allows the usual way of doing things to happen. So basically, it's a lot of unknowns, but there are certain knowns that we can anticipate. How we prepare for it depends on how at the political level, we are managing the relationship. From what I had heard, the President Zuma had spoken all manner of praises to Trump and said to do well, trying to manage that relationship with a difficult guy coming, just to make sure that he doesn't see us in a negative way, because he can act very brutally. Perhaps that will help to soften the blow on us, if they are going to be. The second point is that how we respond to it, it is to build stronger relationship with these institutions. Because institutions will have a life of their own, irrespective of who the government is. And there's hope in maintaining those strategic relationships with universities, with science councils, with NGOs on the other side, and that could help us going. Thirdly, maintaining the existing trade relationships that we have, especially at a practical level, that we have over 2,000 US companies that are in South Africa. There is about 600 South African companies that are investing over that side. A large number of these are small businesses and social enterprises. Building relationships with them might help us cushion ourselves against the possibilities of a difficult one. I never want to sound like an alarmist, but I do want to point out that from what we can see, it might be a difficult adjustment, but there are indications already that Trump is softening in a number of areas. They've reissued the ban. It's still a ban, but now it has more clarity about under what conditions and who is now exempted, because it had hit a number of US citizens themselves because they had not thought about it. When you write an executive order and you haven't even thought about the implications, how it might affect those citizens, and after 2 weeks you realize, it also means us too. Now they then write the new one that's going to improve. It isn't a good signal, isn't it, for such a big state to issue an executive order without thorough check of the most basic things, like if you say somebody who has a Somali passport, what about the ones who have a Somali plus a US passport? Or an American citizen married to a Somali guy. They're not thought about all those dynamics, and then suddenly they realize, it hits among them a person who was part of Trump's campaign in Alaska, was one of those who was hit by Trump's executive order, but was part of the Trump campaign. You can imagine what that means. in terms of internal coherence. Thank you very much.